Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Pros and Politics Podcast, where we are polished and poised for greatness and impact. My name is Kahala, and I'm your host. Well, political pros and gents, it's summertime, finally. Anybody who knows me knows if it ain't summer, throw the whole season away. I hate spring, summer. Hate spring. I hate winter. I hate it all. But now it's summertime, and summertime means what? Rooftops and flip-flops, and for the fellas, sundress season. But for me, it's all about that brain freeze and that sugar rush. That's right. It's ice cream season. And East St. Louis, Illinois has an icon of a landmark in Mello Freeze ice cream. And here with me today is my friend and the owner of Mello Freeze, y'all, Brian Gregory.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Hey. What?
I represent, okay.
Okay.
I see it. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for the Mello Freeze wear. I love, representing.
Oh, anytime.
So we are so happy to have you today.
You see the ESTL right here? There we go. Yeah.
Look, because we are so East St. Louis here.
So East St.
So, yes. But I'm so happy to have you here because you are celebrating just like the biggest milestone, okay? And it's just East St. Louis, 15th and Bond. Like, it just really doesn't get more East St. Louis than that. But first, we have to talk about you, just like in general. So tell us all about Brian.
All right. So my name is Brian Gregory. Born and raised East St. Louis. What can I say? Ice cream is in my blood. My entire life has been, just dealing with ice cream. Mello Freeze has been there my whole life. Soft serve ice cream is great. Went to Dunbar Elementary, then parents shipped me up to Belleville, Altoff, graduated from there. Did a couple college careers, my first college career took me to Eastern Illinois University, where I pledged Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated,
yes,
Delta
we
Chi
love
chapter.
The Sigmas here.
Yeah, appreciate the love.
Yes.
But so we all have our little bumps and trials and tribulations. I messed up. Pop was just like, "All right, you want to have fun? I'm gonna just take this college money and we gonna travel with it. I'm gonna have some fun."
Okay.
So after that, a little bit of growing up, I'm like, "Yo, I gotta do something." So enlisted Air National Guard. Had to get some money for school. So did that. Halfway through my second college career, I got the call to like join the fire department of East St. Louis, and been doing that coming up on 19 years in September, and it's a lovely job. I love to serve the community, especially being in a city that I born and raised in. It's just a great opportunity.
It is,
and that's just here I am. That's where I am right now. That's me.
Well, I love that for so many reasons. So one, of course, you're a Sigma. For number two, you are a member of the East St. Louis Fire Department. So, everybody knows that is near and dear to my heart. And all of those things brought a close relationship to my brother. So a lot of times we talk on here about how I know my guests. And I remember the first day that I met you.
Really?
So I had just moved back after a life transition. And I was staying with Corey and my son and I and our mother. And, of course, y'all was close even then. And this tall guy comes walking up to Corey's door. And I'm like, okay, well, who is this? Because I know Torian and Bruce and everybody. Who is this Sigma person walking up? And, of course, you knew who I was because, my brother tries to hide it, but he talks about me all the time, and especially my kids. And so that's when we met. And then for the last 15 years, it's just been a continuously growing relationship through Corey. And I just want to tell you that I appreciate you. Because
thank you.
We've been through some things with him. And the most recent, obviously, you were there. And I just remember you calling when we were in the hospital, and I just remember, the way he felt about that. And then I want to say thank you because when he went back to work, because who would have ever thought he would go from that to back fighting fires?
I knew it. Yeah.
Okay, so I have so much faith in him, but yes, that was serious though. And so I called you, and I was like, please, just watch out for my brother. And you did not hesitate. you were just like, absolutely. And that was that. So thank you so much for the way that I can call you and have a conversation with you and just be like, can you help us out? So thank you for that.
It's my pleasure. Corey is a brother to me fraternally, well, 2 or 3 different kind of ways, like with the frat, with martial arts, and then with the fire service as well. So it's my pleasure.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So let's talk 50 years. So Mello Freeze has always been in your family. And it's always been in East St. Louis. So just walk us through that, because we were just talking before we got on about how everybody's doors are closing, but you're celebrating 50 years.
So I have to put most of that like on my dad. My dad opened up in 1973. He opened up a shop maybe 5 blocks from his childhood home. He wanted to open up a business in, pretty much right there in this neighborhood. And like one story that kind of sticks with me, because he would always talk about it too, was when he first opened. He was like, man, I used to have like I used to had a special, I'd do 10-cent cones. And he was like, people would show up with truckloads of kids and 10 kids, and they hand me $1, and everybody drive off licking the ice cream cone. And it just kind of stuck with me, because like he put in like that really hard work, and then one thing it takes, to get longevity is like you actually have to live those long years, and he put in that work and he stuck with it, and that's probably like the main reason why we're still here. He just did the work. Years and years passed, like in 95, I started working there when I was 16. So we're coming up on almost 30 years.
First job.
Yeah, it was my first job.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So
so that was your first job, and now you're still doing it.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time that you were just like, I don't want to keep doing this?
yeah, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't.
Because we're going to keep it real. Like, we're
Yeah.
having a real conversation about entrepreneurship, Black entrepreneurship. And then, like we were discussing earlier, Black entrepreneurship in a Black community. Like 99.9% Black community that you grew up in.
So it comes with its own challenges. So, for instance, like we had one way that we saw that the community. Well, one way we saw most of our business. We had always had a after school rush, and that was from Lincoln. That was your alma mater, right?
The Lincoln.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So a few years after you graduated, they had their last class and the school closed. So we thought, wow, this is really gonna impact us. And then across the street from us, we had John Robinson, which was an elementary school, and it closed. So we like, wow, okay, what are we really seeing with this community? But it turns out that there's still a lot of traffic that passes through East St. Louis, and it didn't really affect us as bad as we thought we would. But we do have a serious trend of the city. I'm gonna say forcing out our talent that it tends to leave, and then everyone doesn't necessarily have that overwhelming urge to come back and support the community, or like have the true call into service to the community. Like your family has a big tradition of serving the community. And then like your your brother, your father was a fire chief. There's you're tied to East St. Louis. It's just sometimes it's inescapable. But we faced that. Came out the other side of it. Of course, there was COVID, but before that, that was my dad passed in 2012. So from 95 to 2012, we were running it together. And, of course, being the typical son, I was like, I know so much about this business. I know this. I could do this. I could do that. And I tell them I could do this. Then when he passed, I was just like, man, what?
Everybody think they can do it till it has to be done.
I was like, what is it that I actually did? Because now I got so much work on me. Luckily, like there was a time where I had people and employees and like some family that would step up. Like at one point, my niece was a manager for me. My daughter has served as in a management role for me too. She doesn't really have the passion for this business, which is kind of typical for like second and third generations of restaurants and such. But like her passion is mostly with real estate. So trying to find passive income. Like her, she always makes a joke that is like our business is just like Bob's Burgers, and it's just she's like, Dad, this is you. So like it's just she wants to do things that are going to be generate more passive income, and she doesn't want to have to put all of that work into because she just sees the toll that it takes.
Yes,
just
on
running
you.
the business,
and on her grandfather. Yeah,
exactly. So I don't blame her. But she's definitely a big help to me.
That's awesome. So family is so important, and we love to support and encourage family here, because it just seems like in so many areas, there's such a breakdown when it comes to family, and especially the Black family. And we want to showcase things like that. What did you say? Your father started that business, blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, wouldn't give up on the business no matter what closed or what the traffic was like. And I also think in terms of work ethic, just what you're talking about right now shows the work ethic and the passion behind it, because people don't understand that faith without works is dead. So you can have the best location, you can have all the traffic, you can be in the middle of what they said, one of the busiest interstates in Houston, but if you don't have the work ethic or the passion to go with it, it's gonna fail, because you're not gonna put in the hours, you're not gonna put in the time, you're not gonna invest the money, because all of that is required for successful business. And I think so many people don't know that, but your father started it and he instilled that in you.
He did.
And then you're keeping it going and you're instilling it in your daughter, because it may not be about the brain freeze with her, but what did you just say? Like, how many people can say, like, she's a third generation entrepreneur? That's going to continue. That is a legacy that your father started and that you're continuing. And I don't want that to be lost on you or your family or your business, that is truly an inspiration to watch.
Thank you.
It really is.
I appreciate that.
So I saw that you have an amazing social media presence. So when I start looking for guests, of course I'm a lawyer, I'm a researcher, so I do my research, and so I absolutely love your Facebook page. So how can we find you on social media?
Well, you can just look for us as Mello Freeze on Facebook, and then the social media presence. Really, that's so new. Like and like once this is all over, I can definitely give you all the promotion for the people, or for the company Wildflower, who took care of all that for me.
Okay, so what?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had help.
I had all
I
the
was
help.
like,
Yeah.
look at this.
It came out of nowhere because someone else did it.
And it's, but again, that's helpful, because my social media presence, well, I had a it was helped. So this was helped by my political career, right? So I had a social media, and a lot of it I had to do myself, right? Because it's county level, it's not, state or federal level. And I like to control things, but that can be a problem. So
Same.
it is, but to see how it just blew up, because I'm always like, Lord, I need a social media manager.
I got somebody for you.
I got 3 kids. Yeah. Like, I got a whole job that's very demanding. Like, I don't have the time to post like I want. And you're seeing the growth that you're seeing because God is faithful, Kahala. But imagine if you had help, because he wants you to ask for help. And so okay, you just helped me today. I'm going to do it, Brian. I promise.
Okay.
I'm going to do it.
Do it.
So you have someone that has helped you, but it's great, because when you were launching your 50th season, I mean, they were working and it was growing and people were getting excited. And I was just like, I just love this. Okay, so we got that together.
Yeah. So it's great that we actually had all the content. I mean, it's things that we didn't have to make up anything to share. It was all there, and I'm just grateful for her help. So grateful.
Okay, so now 50th season, and the summer, we're into the summer season now. Where are you as if people don't know, where are you located, and what is your absolute favorite, like your special thing that people love? I can tell you what it is, but I'm gonna let you talk about it.
Okay, so we're located at 1437 Bond Avenue, 15th and Bond. That's where we are. That's where we've always been. Been here, still here. That's kind of a thing we're just kind of leaning into right now, where we want the community to know that like there are staples in our community. Like when we talk about legacy, and we talk about just tying into nostalgia, we want people to actually have a place where they can come back to, and like this was here when I was a kid, and we're still here now. So everybody that's out there, that, years and years ago, you came for that crunch coat or that vanilla twist or cherry slush, you can still come back and get it, and it's still gonna taste exactly the same. Like we understand that consistency with our products is very important, and we want everyone to walk away feeling like they had good customer service and they've had a great product. Like I said, if you want to find us on social media, we're just on Facebook right now.
Right now.
Yeah, right now.
It's just right now.
But like Ahala was saying, it's like when you have a business and you're a solopreneur, then it's just there's so many aspects that you have to touch, and then just thinking about posting is just really hard.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Entrepreneurship is hard.
Definitely.
I didn't realize that until I started doing it, and so because this was not supposed to be. It just wasn't supposed to be a second full-time job, but it is literally a second full-time job. And again, I don't have to do anything. So I got that from my dad. And so everything I do, I like to do well, and I like to do it in excellence. And so, but that's hard. That is really hard.
It is,
That
yeah.
is hard because I want to mom excellently, and I want to wife excellently, and I want to general counsel excellent. I want a podcast, but that's a whole lot of excellence for one human being. And so
Yes.
again, you've helped me with the help, but just in general. But I think even when you miss the mark, it's important to know that you tried, right? It's you tried to give it your best. You tried for your intro to be perfect, right? You tried for the crunch coat to go on just right. And speaking of the crunch coat, so that's my thing, right? So I will be coming very soon to get the crunch coat.
Crunch coat's there. Always has been, always will be.
Yes, that I just see it and I just like, oh my goodness, that looks so good. So yes, but I know we were also discussing employment in the community. So I want you to talk about that because that is it's critical, right? Because that's what we want to do. We want to reach back or pull up and be a blessing to people. Like we're not blessed. We're blessed to be a blessing. We're not doing this just for ourselves, or at least we shouldn't be. And so I loved how you talked about the people you employ and then your work culture. Because baby, let me tell you, work culture is so important because you can pay somebody $500,000 a year, but if they're miserable, that's a miserable $500,000. All money ain't good money. So tell us all about your culture.
All right, so at Mello Freeze, we like to have like just a team culture. Like we're all pretty much doing the exact same job. So we want to have a culture we want everyone to come there and leave just as happy and satisfied as they plan on doing. So like with employment, like when I was younger, I would always hear people like say, "Hey man, your dad gave me my first job," or your dad did this, and now I'm starting to get to a spot where like there's second generation Mello Freeze employees, like people who worked for my dad, their children have worked for me, or people who worked with me throughout my time working there, and now their children. And I want to say I have like 2 or 3 of them that are like doing that right now, and that's a great feeling. That people like they had such a good experience with our business that they're trusting me to, hey, can you get my kid ready for for the workforce too. So that's a great feeling, and also to be able to employ people who stayed within I got a few people that walk to work. And it's not a lot of businesses that, employment opportunities in that neighborhood, especially for 16-year-olds, that they can walk to work and they can like come to work and they can be themselves. They don't have to go somewhere and, do code switching just to be understood or appreciated. They can come there, be themselves. Everyone understands exactly what they're saying. And they actually, they get that that first job experience that can take them, further to different places. There's several other entrepreneurs that have worked for me. Like I see on Facebook, they have their own businesses now, and I'm not saying like, oh, it's because of me or our business, but I do feel that them having exposure to, my father and knowing, hey, this is just a regular dude who lived down the street, at one point, and he decided he wanted to open an ice cream shop and did, and they had that belief, and that's what it takes to it. So it's great to be a part of that and to see that with with our employees. It's just a great feeling.
That's great. So I think what stuck out to me, a couple things. One, code switching. Because I am the queen of the code switch, okay? And I love how just in today's society, not in all areas, we still got a lot of work to do, but in a lot of areas now, that's not a requirement. Because I am officially in 2024 celebrating my 20th year being licensed to practice. Thank you. And it was a very different practice for Black women 20 years ago, right? From the basic boring black suit to you couldn't wear your hair sister locks or bantu knots like that. No, right? And so just to be able to be in an environment where you can be your authentic self, that means a lot. And that encourages and instills in our young black people that I should be able to do this wherever I go. Now, always be professional,
Yes.
right? Always be professional. Always do what you're supposed to do and operate in excellence. But if I want to wear my hair like this to work, if I want to sister lock my hair, if I want to have weave down my back, like whatever, if I want to wear my lashes, again, being professional,
Exactly.
right? But I should be able to wake up every day happy in the skin I'm in and be able to operate in the same manner on my job as long as I'm on time, doing what you pay me to do, doing what my job description says. So that says a lot. And then they will then take that from Mello Freeze and then go somewhere where they can't be their authentic selves and be like, I'm not
It's not
doing
for
this.
me. Yeah.
I'm not doing this, right? And then be able to find a community, a work community and a work culture that fits.
That works for them.
That works for them. So then the other thing that stood out was they go on to open businesses for themselves. I said it a couple minutes ago. I'll say it again. You are inspiring people. And so we inspire people that we don't even know. We inspire people that pretend that we're not inspiring them, right? But for them to say, this is a regular older gentleman who opened this business and look at his family, I can open up, I can learn how to microblade and go out here and open a shop. I can, bling out Air Force Ones or whatever the situation, whatever it is. But again, your family gave them an example, right? To look at and say, I can do this too. Like, you don't have to be some Instagram person with 1 million. You don't have to be Kim Kardashian or whoever it is to start scams or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I can literally start sewing in my 4th bedroom and turn into the Spanx woman, right? So that is, again, you are just out here blessing people and from the crunch coat to the employment, you just out here giving people all the feels, and we just love it. We just love it. So what's next as we close?
So
what's next for Mello Freeze?
Actually, at the end of this season, we'll be expanding our present building. So we're gonna be adding a couple hundred square feet. We're looking to in the future we're gonna add on some more items to our hot food menu. And
Come on,
yeah,
Mello Freeze. Come on now, Mello Freeze.
and expand our season 2. At the very least, put another couple months on it, maybe front and back, maybe go like, at the very least March through October.
Because we have pretty decent weather in October, and now that it's getting warmer and warmer, kind of scary, but
definitely.
Yeah.
So like that's a plan. Next year we'll probably be adding like just a couple like hand up ice cream flavors. Everybody loves the like Rocky Road and butter pecan. Yeah.
You read my mind. He's reading my mind, people. That's my auntie, so Todd's mom, my auntie Catherine. That is her favorite, and I grew up eating butter pecan because of her.
Yeah.
So yes, I love some butter pecan ice cream. Okay, so we're extending the season. We're extending the building. We're just growing.
Yes, just growth.
Just
Yeah.
growth. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
coming
much for
on here
having me.
today.
I really appreciate it.
I just love all things Mello Freeze. And so, like I told you, and I appreciate you just in general. So thank you for everything that you do for the community. Thank you for everything you do for my family. And we gonna have to you gonna have to come back. So
Whenever.
when
Just
you
invite me.
like expand and it just turns into what we believe in God is gonna turn into, you're gonna have to come back.
I'll be happy to return. Just let me know.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for tuning in today to Pros in Politics Podcast, where we are polished and poised for greatness and impact. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we hope you have an amazing and safe Memorial Day weekend with your family. Until then, we will see you next Friday. Take care.